Deputy Kenny.
I want to thank Professor Barry and Professor Stockwell and Ms. Costello for their presentation. I think they were very, very useful and interesting. I think it's timely that we're having this presentation now, just immediately after the St. Patrick's weekend, when alcohol misuse and the antisocial behaviour that it causes tends to peak. And we had some very high profile instances of a young man being kicked on the ground in the centre of the city. And we had, in my own constituency, I do know that I had reports of, antisocial behaviour. I'm not going to name the place, but there was, complaints about out of control gangs and antisocial behaviour. And I think that probably happens all over the country as well. So I think we do have the question I meant to ask is a general question. Do we have a national self-image problem about our national holiday and alcohol? And I think yesterday we celebrated the 50th anniversary of the death of Brendan Behan, who made a career out of alcohol misuse. So and that sort of image of the drinking Irishman tends to be an image that we sort of have. And I'd like to know, how do you think we could address that?
Anybody want to take that on?
Well, I think 2 points the deputies raised there. I mean, one that strikes me, and you mentioned Brendan Behan. I mean, if I'm correct, and Professor Barry will make sure I am correct, we have doubled our consumption of alcohol since the 1960s. So those sort of, figures like Brendan Behan and all the hard drinking image we have of Kavanagh and so on in the 60s, actually we're drinking an awful lot more than they ever did. And I think that's an important point to put out there. I think in terms of the national image, I think we sort of promote it. I mean, I've mentioned at another similar meeting to this that when we attend meetings in Europe, the culture of drinking and alcohol is in our DNA is mentioned by every single country in Europe. I mean, we're nothing special in our view of that. The difference being in Ireland is that it's very, up until very recently, I think the Full to Ireland video for the last St. Patrick's weekend was probably the first one that was created without any alcohol in it. And we're all familiar with every dignitary that comes to the country is taken to either a pub or a brewery. And, we absolutely respect the legitimate activity of the drinks industries and the fact that there is a heritage around some particular aspects of the alcohol industry. However, it doesn't have to be the core focus of our tourism promotion. And if people are concerned about our international image being one of the drunken paddy or drunken leprous, we have to look at, are we promoting ourselves in that way? And my impression would be that we actually are actively promoting ourselves in that way, and I think we need to step back from that. I mean, I certainly was in Dublin Airport after St. Patrick's weekend, and the impression gained at that point would be that the fallout from that particular weekend was very much how we promoted ourselves to the visitors, and people had come for that particular experience. And I'm not sure that that's either a sustainable tourism strategy in the long term or something we should be looking for.
Okay, Deputy Kenny, any other further questions?